Hey guys, it's Joe Walker here. What the flipping hell is going on? In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Revive Lifeline skateboard, but before that I'm going to be showing you guys clips from yesterday's skate session. If you're not interested in yesterday's skate session, check out the timestamps below. You can skip straight to the review. However, yesterday was one of my best skate sessions yet. I was extremely impressed with three things in particular, so I would encourage you not to skip it and check it out. Without further ado, let's roll the skate footage. There we have it guys, that's yesterday's skate session. The three things that I was particularly impressed with, the first one was the ollie up onto the box and then the lip slide on the rail. That took a long time to get. I think it was a lip slide, not a board slide. I'm not too sure what the difference between those two is. If you could leave that down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. The second thing was the varial heel off the box. That came a lot easier than expected, but I think it's as a result of recently kick flipping down a 3-stair. I've gained a lot of confidence doing tricks off things. It's basically just do the trick exactly as you would on the flat ground and boom, you'll land it. That's the rule that I've discovered. That's the rule that I'm gonna stick to. And the third thing was the fakie flip. Fakie flips are not a flip trick that before yesterday I would say that I can do, but I put a good 5 to 10 solid minutes into just fakie flips and I was landing a few. The one you saw was the cleanest one, so I can quite happily say I can now do fakie flips. So that will be 5 flip tricks that I can now do: kick flip, heel flip, varial heel, and fakie flip. So I am very, very happy to be adding to my bag of flip tricks. Now, without further ado, let's get into the review of the Revive Lifeline deck. Now, just to give this review some context, I haven't owned many boards, so this isn't going to be a comparison between brands video by any means. I wouldn't think that was appropriate anyway. I'm not going to be like, Revive's so much worse than this, but it was better than this. That's not what this is going to be. Before I was skating this Revive board, I was skating a blank Route 1 deck. So comparing anything to anything is inappropriate and won't be happening in this video. I'm going to be focusing on two areas of review. The first one is the buying experience. You might think, God, that sounds boring, but trust me, you're going to want to hear it. And the second thing is just how I felt on the board. I think everyone's experience on a skateboard, even if it's the same board, is subjective. So if two people owned the exact same board, they'd have very, very different experiences. Unless the board company is just terrible and they're snapping all the time, then it become more objective and people would obviously steer clear of that board company. But I'm going to keep this nice and subjective, how I felt skateboarding this Revive board. So many of you will obviously be familiar with Revive and the team and their presence on YouTube and social media, the Shredquarters, the Shredquarters.com. I'm going to start with the website because that's obviously where I bought the board. I'm also going to leave a link to the website down below. If you're wanting a Revive board, you can pick one up. Major bonus points recently because they have started to distribute from the UK and Europe, which makes it cheaper for people buying boards within the UK and Europe, whereas before they were having to buy them from the .com part of the website and pay for shipping. That's what I did, and then a few months after, the company have extended into the greater world, so you can now get your Revive board if you're in Europe and the UK, and it'll be a lot cheaper for you. That's a big thumbs up for Revive. So on the actual website, you've got the Revive section, the decks, the clothing, etc. You've got the force wheel section, the 3-block section, there's the hardware and other bits, there's a little bit about the team. And this is a very nicely put together website in my opinion. It's very visually appealing. And one thing I particularly like is you, as a consumer of Revive skateboards, may follow some of the team riders, for example, John Hill, Jason Park, Johnny Geiger. So if you buy one of their pro models, you know as a consumer of Revive skateboards that you are directly supporting that team member. For me, as a consumer of Revive skateboards, I like that. I support these people on YouTube. I'd like to support them in other ways if I can in the future, if I'm ever going to buy a Revive deck again. So I bought my deck along with my independent trucks and some Revive bolts. They threw in some stickers. Always love some stickers. Stickers are a lovely touch. It arrived at my door about 4 days later. That's very, very good for international shipping. No issues there whatsoever. But what really made the buying experience even better was you got the chance whilst purchasing to write to the team, which I really particularly liked. So I just wrote a little bit about how I just landed my first varial flip and I'm really excited to get my Revive board. Brian Ams wrote a personalized message back about how it took him ages to get varial flips. Very, very simple, very little message. It's a very, very simple thing and a lot of people might take it for granted, but having a personalized message against such a big company from someone you watch and know of, it really, really adds bonus points. It makes the sale a little bit more humanized, less cold. It just makes the whole buying experience a little bit more familiar, like you're kind of just supporting a mate. I'm obviously not mates with Brian Ams. I don't know the guy personally, but I know of him. He's very entertaining. It was nice as a consumer of Revive skateboards that they added that little touch to the buying experience, which is why for me it was worth mentioning about the buying experience, adding points to the overall experience of the board altogether. So how did the board actually feel? And this is where we get into the more subjective part of the review. In a nutshell, I loved it. I absolutely loved this board. There is one thing I'd say, but this is absolutely no reflection of Revive. This is a reflection of me and my brain. I picked a board that was too small for me. That board is a 775. Ideally, I should have picked maybe an 8.0 or an 8.25. I'm now skating an 8.25. I'm finding it much easier to skate an 8.25, but if anything, the fact that the board held up and stayed sturdy and strong throughout the months of torture that I put it through, flip trick after flip trick after flip trick after ollie after ledge after grind after just everything board slide, the fact that a board had someone on it that was too big for it and it held up firm, it has no cracks in it whatsoever. And I'm not a good skater as well, so you can definitely guarantee I'm not landing tricks properly every time. The board held up. It is a solid board. So after about 5 to 6 months of skating this board, on average I'd say 2 to 3 times a week for about 2 hours each session, the board is obviously looking a bit chewed up, but as a board, feeling it as a block of wood, is extremely solid, and the graphic held up nice. The graphic wasn't coming off ridiculously. Like you can see, I've done some board slides there, but the graphic held up nice. It wasn't coming off in my hands. I've heard some people say that when they were getting a bit sweaty and they're holding their deck, they'd look at their hands and the hands would be like red or blue or glitter or whatever, God knows, but it didn't do any of that. So the graphic held up nice. I like their graphics. I like the current Dungeons and Dragons graphics they've got on. I like their classic graphics. They're very boom, you know, in your face. I like that. That's just my personal preference. Overall, I've got only good things to say about this board. I had a good experience from it. It held up nicely. I'd give them a solid 5 out of 5. They threw in a free sheet of Jessup's grip tape. Jessup is the grip tape I've always skated, and it's nice and grippy, which is always good. So yeah, solid 5 out of 5 for this Revive board. Very impressed. By no means is this a sponsored video. I am a true consumer. I am not biased towards Revive in any way. This is simply a good experience as a consumer, which I hath had. Would I buy it again? I absolutely would buy it again. I'd go a few sizes bigger than the 775. I'm 6 foot tall. The 825 is working a lot better for me. I won't be buying a Revive board for some time, simply because I want to try other board companies, but I will definitely be buying a Revive board at some point in the future again. What about you guys? Have you guys ever owned a Revive board? Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you have never owned one, I would definitely encourage you to check out the Shredquarters.com down below. They make some really nice graphics and they make solid boards. I would definitely recommend. I want to say a big thanks to Revive for making solid boards that you can have a lot of fun on, and I want to say a big thank you to you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.